If you have any little kids, maybe you should turn off the Peter Schiff show right now. Fair warning, because I'm going to be talking a little bit about Santa Claus and the fact that Santa Claus is white. It surrounds some of the comments that Megyn Kelly made on Fox.
In Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But, you know, Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids.
First of all, she basically said, look, kids, Santa's white. That's just the way it is. He's not black. And I guess she's responding to an article that had been written about we need a black Santa Claus, that maybe it's not fair that Santa Claus is white. And Megyn Kelly saying, no, he is white. And then she made a comment like, you know, you can't take facts and then change them to fit some sort of political agenda, which, of course, now a lot of people are making fun of her because she's talking about Santa Claus and facts as if, you know, he was a real person. I know he's based on St. Nicholas, who was some Greek guy that lived over 1,000 years ago. And I don't know what color are Greeks. They kind of got olive skin. But the point is, what difference does it make? If he's a mythical, made-up character, and if he was originally made up as being white, well, then he's white. What is the big deal? I mean, there are a lot of characters that are white. What about all the Disney characters? What about Cinderella or Snow White? They're white. I mean, do we have to redraw them and make them black? Can black kids not enjoy these cartoons if the characters are white? I mean, if that's the case, who's racist? Right? I mean, when I was a little kid, one of my favorite cartoons was Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. And if you've never seen this show, Bill Cosby produced it. It's about kind of his childhood memories of himself and his friends. And all the kids are black in this show. And I love this show. I watched it all the time. In fact, I had little characters. I had all the Cosby Kid figurines that I collected. I didn't have any problem relating to the Cosby Kids because they were black and I was white. I didn't care. They were kids. It was funny. I liked the show. Didn't matter what color I was. It didn't matter what color they were. So what's the big deal if Santa Claus is white? I mean, he's got to be something, right? I mean, if he's supposedly a person, he's got to be some ethnicity. So why can't it be white? Why is it that just blacks are upset? Why aren't all the various ethnic or political groups upset that Santa Claus is a white man? Why aren't the Hispanics saying we need a Hispanic Santa Claus? What about the Asians? Why isn't he Chinese or Indian or something like that? You know, maybe we should just make Santa Claus into some kind of a chameleon. You know, I mean, the kids believe all kinds of stuff about Santa Claus. Why don't we just say he's every race? He just changes his race like a chameleon, like he's like, you know, like a shapeshifter or something. That, you know, he's black one minute, he's white the next, he's Hispanic. I mean, maybe we should just make him constantly changing. Why aren't the women's groups protesting? Why isn't Santa Claus a woman? I mean, do you expect little girls to accept presents from a man? I mean, isn't it sexist to say that only a man can go down chimneys and ride a sleigh with reindeer? Why can't Santa just be a woman? And why aren't the homosexuals out there complaining? Why does Santa Claus have to be straight? Why can't he be gay? Now, I know some of the homosexuals might be saying, wait a minute, how do I know Santa Claus is straight? Am I just assuming he's straight? Is that just my own homophobia? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he is gay. I mean, look at what he wears, right? I mean, maybe he is gay. I mean, dressing the way he does. But you know what? See, that wouldn't really be PC. Because if Santa Claus is gay, you know, he shouldn't be in the closet because he is married to a woman, right? So if Santa Claus were gay, but there's a Mrs. Claus, wouldn't that mean that he's in the closet? And that, I mean, that's not the right kind of message to send to little kids, that if you're gay, you should be in the closet. So why isn't Santa Claus married to a man? Why isn't it Santa Claus and Mr. Claus, right? I mean, that would be politically correct. Well, why not a lesbian? Wait a minute. I said that Santa Claus, the women are protesting. That's not a woman. Well, maybe it should be a lesbian woman married to Mrs. Claus. But what about all the other? I mean, why isn't he in a wheelchair? What about all the, you know, the disabled people? Why isn't Santa Claus in a wheelchair? Why can he walk? You know, that makes a lot of sense, too. In fact, if Santa Claus were in a wheelchair, he wouldn't even need a sleigh, right? You can just tie the reindeer up to his wheelchair, and he can be flying around, you know, in that wheelchair, right? Now, I know some of you are saying, yeah, but where would he keep all the presents? You know, if he didn't have a sleigh, if he was just in the wheelchair. Well, I haven't thought about all the logistics of this. And I suppose he could just tie the presents to the back of his wheelchair. Maybe he can have a little sidecar on that wheelchair. Why can't he be Jewish? Why can't he have a little Jew fro and have a big nose, have a yarmulke? What's wrong with Jewish Santa Claus? The bottom line is none of this matters. I don't know the first person who drew Santa Claus out on a piece of paper and decided to make him white. But hey, he's been white all these years, and it's not racist. In fact, the only thing that's racist is somehow trying to say that he has to be black in order for black kids to relate to him.